That's actually an interesting question. First of all, money is prior to money. This is going to sound like a long answer, but I'm not quite sure I know the nature of your question. But let me see how I can handle it. Thank you. Prior to money, essentially trade.
So isn't it a little bit fraudulent though if I were to walk into a bank and they give me a receipt I can redeem at any time, but it's only noticed that it would be called fraud if everyone came to the bank and requested their money?
I'm going to answer your question, but then I want to go back to mine.
Okay.
Because this is the huge change of the last 5 years. It's not fraudulent. It's not fraudulent. Because everybody understands it, but it is.
No one really understands.
Well, okay. I mean, those who know about it, knew about it, so it was not fraudulent.
I've talked to the teachers and MPs, even MPPs, and they had no idea that there was only $4 billion in defaults, but over $1 trillion was lent out.
No, let me go back. Well, the fact that they didn't know it, they should have.
But really, no one does. Should that be involved a little bit more before we start using money? That we should be told where it is, where it comes from?
Well, no. There was no fraud. People should have known. But there really is a problem, and that is that the people who knew didn't stop it. But I want to go back to the real thing, because this is really you had asked the question at the very beginning, but the financial crisis that we're in.
Oh, well, it was just where does money come from? I'm not. Yeah, it is.
No, but wait a minute. But it's really important to understand what happened. That me, normally a very staid banker, will lend you the money to buy a home that you don't think.
Well, first of all, is it actually money that they're lending people?
Oh yeah, they're lending you money.
Is it actual money, or is it?
It's real money.
It's not a receipt to present money?
No, it's real money.
Isn't there a difference between bank credit?
Yes, there is, but let's go back to it. Don't change the subject.
Okay.
But no, but wait a minute. Unless you want to get, you're asking me what was the cause of the current crisis.
Well, no, I just want to know where money comes from.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me just take it one step further, despite the fact that's not where you want to go.
Would a debt-free money system be good for the country or no? No, it would. It wouldn't. I had read that somewhere in the Bank Act of Canada that it was allowed that somewhere between 1990 and 1991 that reserve requirements for banks would be phased out in the next few months.
I tightened them up.
So they have returned to.
I tightened them up. They were eased up. Conservatives eased them up in 90 or 91.
Yeah.
And I tightened them up in 95.
So what did you make them? What is you said between
what they are now? What they are now? It's roughly 7 to 1.
Roughly 7 to 1.
But I want to go back to the main question.
Maybe he means he tightened it up so much that it slipped right through his fingers back into legislation. Because although there are other complex regulations that banks still have to meet, our government has given private companies the authority to break the law, which in turn is bankrupting the people and the government itself.
Does the Prime Minister or President of either Canada or America have the ability to create debt-free money?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, okay. Because I was reading a quote by...
You gotta ask the question, why don't they?
Why don't they? Right. Why don't they?
Because it's inflationary. It can drive inflation through the roof.
How's that?
Well, here are my glasses. It's the only pair of glasses in the world. Okay? And I'm going to sell them for $1, right? And you have $1, and you don't have any money at all. Or no, you have $10, and you don't have any money at all. These glasses are on sale for $1. Okay? So you both come to see me, and you want to buy the glasses. I say, okay, fine. How much will you pay me? And you say, I can't pay any. I haven't any money. So I turn to you, and you say, well, fine. I'm the only buyer. I'll pay you $1. right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say the glasses are on sale for $1 today, and you both have $10, right? So you come to me and you say, and you both desperately want my glasses. So you say to me, I'll give you $1. And I say, well, okay, they were for sale for $1, but what will you give me? What are you going to say to me? You're going to say $2.
$2.
Sure. Okay. All of a sudden, these glasses, which were worth $1, are now worth $2. That's inflation. And that's inflation. The more money there is in supply, the danger there is there's going to be inflation. That's why everybody says what's happening now as a result of what's going on in the United States is that 5 years from now we're going to have massive inflation.
So it is the amount of money in circulation that causes inflation, not who distributes the money, right?
It's largely the amount of money in circulation. Yeah, there are a lot of reasons, but yes, that drives up the price. That drives up prices because more people can afford to buy something.
Okay, I'm going to replay the last few seconds of that. Remember, he began saying that it was borrowing money from the Bank of Canada that would cause inflation.
The more money there is in supply, the danger there is there's going to be inflation. That's why everybody says what's happening now as a result of what's going on in the United States is that 5 years from now we're going to have massive inflation.
So it is the amount of money in circulation that causes inflation, not who distributes the money, right?
It's largely the amount of money in circulation. Yeah, there are a lot of reasons, but yes, that drives up the price. That drives up prices because more people can afford to buy something.
I think what he's trying to say is now that he's allowed the private banks to make up this magical money that keeps growing in their favor, the government shouldn't borrow money from the Bank of Canada since they would have to create new numbers that don't already exist. But if the Bank of Canada had just been doing its job from the start, it wouldn't make a difference anyway. Do you see how absurd it is to say that the Bank of Canada causes inflation? Besides, since 95% of money is created by private banks, they're the cause of 95% of inflation. Because of the decisions made by prime ministers like Paul Martin, this is how money in Canada sadly works.
There was no fraud. People should have known, but there really is a problem, and that is that the people who knew didn't stop it.